anything is possible. Anything is possible. See, I know that sounds like some crazy kids story and there'll be some manic song, anything is possible, but it really is. And that's shaped everything. It shaped everything that I do. It shapes all the advice that I've got. It shapes all that I am, all that I believe in, all the support that I give to people that I work with. But it hasn't always felt like that. Yeah, I grew up in a bit of a rough part of town. My folks worked so hard. They did back-to-back shifts to make sure that me and my brothers were set up, that we could enjoy trips out to the seaside. We could do things together as a family. Not huge things, but we could do things. And yeah, I did well at school. My school teacher said, go for it. And I had the chance to go to the local grammar school, and you know what? It was fab. But I wasn't as good as those guys, and I wasn't as good as those guys, and I didn't have the horses that those guys had, or the parents that those guys had. So I kind of drifted. I drifted into a law degree. I drifted to a different part of the country to get a job. I had the chance to and was promoted to different jobs. But it was mainly because there was change going on. It's like, well, let's give that a go. All right, yeah, okay, let's do that. And when I reached my late 20s, I was somebody's other half, kind of still, scraping in admin roles. Nothing special. Just that sense that, there was a little bit more, not really sure what it was. And one winter we joined the gym. You see, over the summer we joined a rowing club. In Cornwall they have these big gigs, 1-ton boats, wooden boats, you race. And we were a social club. It's a lot more cider than there was rowing going on. But we joined the gym over the winter to stay together as a group. And those big rowing machines, had to go on one of those. Absolutely loved it. And the instructor said, "You're really good." Huh. Yeah, cheers. "No, you're really good. You should compete." So yeah, okay. I did some research and found out that, it's competitive. 7 minutes 20. It's not a bad time, so why not I give it a go? And a few weeks later I was in Portsmouth, hundreds of miles away from home, with my parents in tow. I remember that first race, kind of just looking out on the bank of 10 machines, like, what am I doing here? Just because somebody said give it a go, you should. What am I doing here? So I was nervous as hell, looking at the start, looking at people who looked like they'd been doing it for decades. And then there's me. But I did the race and I won. It's crazy. Big medal. It's like, okay, well, that was a fluke. Let's do another one. And I won that. And in that first year, I took every regional title, bearing in mind that I was in a sport that up until 6 months ago, I didn't know I was any good at, that I'd only been doing for 6 months. And here I was winning the regional titles. It just made no sense at all. And then came the chance to take part in the World, to be part of Team GB, to be part of a team that was led by Sir Steve Redgrave. Sir Steve Redgrave, who'd achieved so many medals in this sport. Could I do it? It feels butterflies now. I never thought that I could win a regional. So the thought of going halfway around the world to take part was insane. Where would I get the money from? Going all that way for 7 minutes, it just didn't make sense. But, kind of the team around me were fantastic. We had parties and events. I went up and down the high street in Truro to get hold of raffle prizes to raffle them off. Did the local radio spot and the local newspapers, and managed to get the money to get to Boston. And it was incredible. The photo shoot with Sir Steve was awe-inspiring. This was 12 months on from learning that I could row. And the day of the race, there were not 10 machines, there were 100 machines all set out. It was like a military operation. It was so intense. And again, that little voice was, "What are you doing here?" So I know. You realise, I've come all this way. Let's give it a go. 7 minutes 11. Number 16 in the world. Number 16 in a world of rowers who'd been doing this for ages, but I was number 16. Oh, yeah. I couldn't be an imposter anymore, not with those results. It changed everything. It really made me realise that I was the only one who was holding me back. I was the only one who was telling me that I couldn't do it. I was the only one who was doubting me. I looked around at my family, at strangers, at people giving me prizes because they believed that I could do it. So what if I got on my side? See, when I twigged that, when I made that happen, I knew anything was possible, and I've worked towards that ever since.